Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you for being such a loyal follower. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so that every time I upload a video, you'll be notified. So as you can see from the title, today I'm going to give you some tips and some ways to recognize they are not your friend. They're not your friend. Okay? They're not your friend. I don't care if they invited you to lunch or an event. I don't care if they talk to you at work or they tell people that they're such a good friend of yours and they try to act so familiar with you. They're not your friend, babe. Okay? So these are some telltale signs for you to know they're not your friend. And it's okay when you run into people like this, when you encounter people who just think that you're not paying attention. You're paying attention, okay? So the first thing that they always do, and this can be male, female, it's interchangeable, but it's just in general, people who do this to you when they're in your space or when they get access to you, you're gonna know by these signs. So the first thing that they do, they constantly call out your flaws and your mistakes. Every time you do something wrong, every time you say something wrong, every time you make a mistake, whatever it is, it can be just a flaw about you that you have, because we all have stuff. They are so adamant about trying to expose your stuff. Every mistake you make, if you don't dot your I's and you forget to cross a T or whatever, they're going to tell everybody. They want everybody to know that you messed up. They want everybody to know what's not right about you. They can't wait to spill the beans. They can't wait. They can't wait to expose things about you. They can't wait to expose your vulnerabilities. Because they are not your friend. They're not. So they can't wait to talk about you. They can't wait to find a reason to talk about you. Because they're not your friend. The second way for you to know that they are not your friend, they constantly compare themselves to you. Everything you do, they're comparing themselves. They're sizing you up. You'll notice even in like when they approach you to initiate conversation, they're always asking questions about the things that you do, almost in a way where they're sizing you up or they're comparing themselves to you. They want to know why you do it like that and how you know how to do that and where you get this from. And almost in a way where they're just like trying to see if you're the real deal or not. But you are, because you're that girl. You're the real deal. So that's how you know they're not your friend. They're always comparing themselves. And because comparison is a thief of joy, they're always unhappy. They're never going to be happy with the good qualities that you have. When they're comparing themselves next to you and they feel like they don't measure up, it just makes them even more miserable. So that's how you know they're not your friend. The next way you know they are not your friend, they constantly try to use things in a way to set you up or to openly humiliate you. They even try to use other people to try to do it. They'll lie on you. They'll use something you may have said and take it out of context intentionally to try to set you up, to try to sabotage you. They want to embarrass you. They want to humiliate you. You can have good news and be making good plans, and they'll start discrediting your plans and all your good attempts to be successful. And that is why you have to keep your plans to yourself until things are complete. They don't want to see you win. They're going to try everything in their power to try to sabotage you. They want to humiliate you. They want you to look bad. That's how you know they are not your friend. They're not. The next way you know that they are not your friend, they constantly are in competition with you. Everything you do, they try to do it better. Everything you do well, they try to say, oh, well, no, well, I can do this, or she can't do that. They always have to compare themselves to you in a way. Well, if you do something well and somebody praises you for it, or they give a compliment about you, even if you're not around, they always have a rebuttal to say, well, they can't do this. They always try to say something that you can't do that they do well. Or they'll try to say, well, I would never do that. Like, they always in competition. Always. Always. They're looking for, like, when they're looking for areas where you have flaws, or maybe there's something that you haven't done yet or you don't know how to do, they always try to show you up in that area, because they got to compete with you. They got to do it better than you. They got to do more than you. They're going to try their hardest anyway. You see, because they in competition with you. You're the competition to them. Even though they need to be competing against themselves and all the things that they need to work on, they watching you. You really the blueprint to their success, and that's why they got to compete with you. So that's how you know they are not your friend. Another way you know they are not your friend, to other people, they constantly discredit you and they minimize everything about you. People sometimes have conversations and they may intentionally try to bring things up about you, or maybe the other person says something that in relation to you, and so now they have to minimize you and claim that you're not capable and you don't measure up in this area and you're not fit in this area. Whatever flaw they feel like they perceive about you, they try to use that as a way to discredit you. It's almost similar to how they try to humiliate you, but they try to say it in a way where they're concerned. They try to conceal their animosity with concern and discredit you and talk down about you and minimize you to lower people's perspective of you. But usually people are not paying attention. They're just thinking that this person is familiar with you and they know things about you and they're really being sincere and genuine, and they're not. They constantly try to discredit you and to minimize you to people. They'll say, hey, this person can do this, but they ain't do it well. This person can do this, but I don't know why they ain't try to get help. Like, it's always a backhanded compliment, a backhanded something. Like, always, they'll say something to draw attention to you and then minimize you at the same time. They're not your friend. So another way to know they are not your friend, they constantly misinterpret everything you do, and it's intentional. Every time you say something, it could be a casual conversation about an event or work or just something random. They're going to try to find anything that you say to use against you, to try to say that you're messy, or to try to say that you're incompetent, or to try to say that you don't know what you're talking about. Or they'll take something and repeat it, but they'll repeat it in their own words to try to make it seem like you're unintelligent or just something negative. They want to make you look bad. So they constantly try to misinterpret your intentions. You can be interacting with other people, or you could maybe leave a situation, and they'll always try to make it seem like they'll project like you have an attitude, or you have bad intentions, or they only did this for that reason, she only did this for that reason, and it's always something negative. They try to make it seem like you always have negative and bad intentions with everything that you say and do, and that's intentionally done. They intentionally misinterpret everything about you to other people. They're not your friend. They are not your friend. So those are people that you have to limit communication with, or just cease communication altogether, because they're constantly looking for an opportunity to make it seem like everything comes out your mouth is something negative and bad, because they want to prove that you're a bad person. They're not your friend. The next way you know they are not your friend is they just flat out lie on you. They just lie. They just lie. They just tell lies. They say you said something you didn't say. They say you did something you didn't do. They say you were trying to do something you never thought to do, like you weren't even trying to do it. They just lie on you. They'll say you going somewhere that you didn't go, or your plans are this and those aren't your plans. They just flat out lie on you. They just make up stuff. They completely twist the truth, twist the narrative, and they do it because they're not your friend. They don't like you. They wish bad for you. They don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to be successful. So they constantly just find ways to make you look bad through just lying on you. They'll go tell somebody you was talking about them and you haven't said anything about them. Like, they just lie on you. They'll say you did something that you never did because they just want to make you look bad. They just lie. They just flat out just lie on you because they're constantly looking for something to accuse you of. But since they couldn't find anything, now they have to just make up stuff. It's so sad. They are not your friend. The next way to know that somebody is not your friend, they never celebrate you. They never celebrate your wins. Everything you do well, every time you're successful, every time you succeed, every time there's good news, they never celebrate it. They never want to talk about it. They never mention it. They never celebrate you. They never want to say anything about you doing well. They never want to hear anything about you doing well. They don't celebrate your wins at all. They genuinely do not want you to succeed because they are not your friend. They will never celebrate you. Somebody else may have a good news or talk about their accomplishments, and they will celebrate that person right in front of your face. But they will never do that to you because they are not your friend. And the last way you can tell somebody is not your friend, they try to copy everything you do. People try to say, well, imitation is flattery. Absolutely not. It's not. If you want to talk about how you want to wear your hair, then they show up with the same hairstyle. You talk about the color you're going to wear to an event, they show up with that same color. You talk about some food that you want to bring or you want to eat, they show up with the same meal. Like, they are not your friend. They're not. They intentionally do that. They intentionally try to copy you. They intentionally try to be like you, talk like you, mimic your mannerisms. They essentially try to embody you as a person. And they, in a way, kind of want to steal your energy. And they might even try to steal your energy because they're not your friend. They are not your friend. Okay? Not your friend. So if they do any of these things that I just mentioned in this video, understand that this is a person that you do not need to give any of your time to. It is a waste of time to even try to be in any type of relationship with the individual who constantly shows these signs and patterns. So get away from them or set strong boundaries, okay? Because you don't need that negativity in your life. All right, we want to thrive, we want to progress, we want to succeed, we want to be successful, and we want people around us who celebrate our wins and are genuine in their efforts to celebrating our wins. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.